What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. It's Jules, personal trainer manager, Byward location, and
Ryan, trainer, head manager, Byward location.
it's above the manager, is the head manager of that location. There's a lot of questions surrounding protein shakes,
Protein as a supplement,
protein substitutes.
protein ingestion,
Yeah,
recommended amounts.
yeah. There's a lot of question around protein and supplement industry in general. So we're gonna dive into that a little bit more.
Why do you think people struggle to hit their protein requirements? That would be
Because
probably the biggest issue that most people, male or female, see is realizing quality protein in the amount their body requires is a bit of a struggle to hit at the start.
Like, honestly, I just think it's because protein foods are kind of boring.
Eggs.
Most people don't like eggs. Like, let's be honest. Most people, if they eat chicken, they barely eat like 3 ounces. If they eat meat, it's like chicken wings or like ribs that have a high fat content,
True.
lower protein.
True.
So like, I think protein foods in general are just.
I mean, I think steak is scrumptious. It's a bit of a stigma.
Yeah, but again,
around
steak is a very high quality protein.
It's very calorie dense too. Like,
Exactly.
I don't think people realize
No.
like, a 10-ounce steak might have like 500 calories.
Yeah, and it's like, depending on the cut too, like it can be very fatty,
True.
which is not bad by any means, but it's just you gotta be aware of those things.
But we also need to remember creatine is only found in red meat.
Yeah.
So when we take red meat out of our diet, which is absolutely appropriate, you just need to make sure that you understand what you're losing from
Yeah.
that particular source of protein.
Yeah.
I've always recommended to vegan clients to supplement with their creatine. It has shown to improve cognitive function,
Yeah.
energy. And again, that's something the brain requires, so that does help.
It's the supplement that got tested on the most
Absolutely.
because there's so many questions about it. So they did so many testing on it, so many.
To see if the evidence is supported.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's there. Creatine.
It's there, yeah.
Creatine has been studied a lot, and if it's utilized in a diet appropriately, it's to say it's harmful, but some people don't like a bit of water retention happens with creatine. When would you suggest to a client that a protein substitute or supplement would be required? And why? And which one?
Like, honestly, whatever's easiest for them.
Taking a protein supplement for most people is never going to be easy because it's easy to forget. It's easier to be like,
I know.
yeah, I don't want to shake, so then I don't have it.
I know. Well, so that's why, like, again, I don't really use shakes.
I don't either.
When I eat protein, it's either I mix it in Greek yogurt, I mix it in oatmeal.
Oh, so I have unflavored protein powder, and
Oh.
if I'm gonna bake,
Yeah.
so
You get
zucchini
unflavored.
loaf, banana bread.
You just.
If that is being baked, that is thrown in.
Yeah.
So you can get creative with some of the unhealthier foods, but having it protein dominant by supplementing it.
You don't always have to chug down a shake, like, because don't get me wrong, after a while those get gross. And I get why people don't want to do it. So you got to find creative ways to add protein into your diet.
The smoothies, honestly, are usually the thing I push for most people.
Yeah.
Just from a vegetable and fruit ingestion standpoint, since
It's
that
so
seems
easy.
to be a hard thing to.
It's so easy.
Now, if you were to make yourself a shake, what would you put in it?
It honestly depends on what my goal is at the time. If I'm looking for extra calories, it'll most likely be almond milk, banana, oats, peanut butter, and then the protein. But if I'm not looking for calories, it'll be very fruit and vegetable dominant, no oats, no peanut butter. Adding yogurt in it, like flavored yogurt or a little bit of juice helps, because just water or almond milk can make it like a little bland.
Doesn't make it as thick though, so
It doesn't.
it's
yeah.
more of a drink versus a smoothie.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Depends on the person and
Yeah.
the time restraint, or if they don't like thick smoothies.
Yeah.
Would you ever recommend protein bars?
Yeah. If people like to snack.
The one thing I suggest with protein bars, well, it's two things. Learn to read those labels,
Yeah, 100%.
because it's so infuriating. I'll go buy one of those like protein cookies, and you'll
And
read
it's
the label,
half.
and it's half, and it's like, I'm not putting half away for tomorrow.
No.
So now you just, well, not that having one full protein cookie is consequential to me.
But like a full one is like almost 400 calories, no?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, it's 30 grams of sugar.
Yeah, that
Yes,
too.
it hits my protein requirement, but like, good God, I don't
Yeah.
know if this is worth the calories and the
Yeah.
sugar.
No.
Which leads me to the second thing I suggest. If you're someone that doesn't want to get rid of like their candy, their chocolate bars, like
Yeah.
they like that, M&M makes a protein bar. So does Snickers, so does Mars.
I've heard of the Snickers and Mars.
They are delicious.
I bet.
Do I recommend them on a regular basis? No.
No.
But at the end of the day, if you're struggling to hit your protein requirement,
And
but
you know
also,
you're gonna eat one of those.
but
yeah.
you also know you had a hard day and you want something that gives you that like chocolate, this
Yeah.
feels good. Those are the best things to buy, because not only are you hitting your protein requirements, you're getting that
Yeah.
that need, and it's not that it's the best option, but you're not
Yeah.
going to have consequences if you have a protein chocolate bar
No.
versus having half a bowl of ice cream, or having like a random chocolate bar from a convenience store.
A lot of people, like at least from what I've heard, it's like protein, it fills me up too much. I'm not hungry for the other stuff.
I've never had anyone say that to me.
No? Oh man.
That's the point.
exactly.
The point is to be full where you don't want to eat junk.
Yeah.
And if you do want to eat junk, it's a reasonable amount.
Yeah. So, so I
That's
think that's another reason why people have a hard time hitting their protein, because it's like, if I eat all of this steak, I won't be able to eat all of those mashed potatoes. I'd rather eat the mashed potatoes. It's like, and that goes back to my original point that like protein is just, it's not that yummy.
I get it. But at the same point, that protein would be, oh, I have $2,000 at the end of every month. Let me blow that on lottery tickets
Yeah.
and hope I win millions, versus let me save that.
Yeah.
And over the course of a year, that's $24,000.
Yeah.
So if you,
Yeah.
again, protein is a required
Yeah.
need in the body. Muscle growth, recovery, and just general physical health.
Yeah.
So protein, veg, fats, carbs should be the order at which you consume. Carbs being the last, but carbs, I dislike people that think carbs are the reason that they're fat.
Yeah.
You're overweight because you've consumed too much food.
Yeah.
Not,
And
because
and not necessarily in terms of like volume. Like some people don't eat a lot in terms of like volume.
True.
They consume a whole lot of calories.
Well,
It's like, well, you eat too much. Well, I don't. It's like, well, technically you're right. You don't eat that much,
You just-
but you eat.
you're consuming calorie dense
Yeah.
food that is quick digesting
Yeah.
and doesn't give you a sense of
Yeah.
satiation.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but you have to make those changes, and no amount of money that you spend on a personal trainer or on a doctor, a nutritionist, a dietitian, you still have to do the work. So you have two options. You either discipline yourself because you know that's what needs to happen to see change, or you're disappointed because you're never going to hit your goal because you're unwilling to do the simplest things to help achieve it, because you don't think the simple things are enough to spark that change. But simple things over the course of time have a better, longer impact than drastic, crazy changes all done at once.